Given the graph of a function, we want to think about what information we can get from the graph. So suppose the following graph shows the distance that a runner in a 30-mile race has covered t hours after the beginning of the race. And you see his progress is shown on this graph. And what does the graph tell us about the runner? Well, there's a lot of information here. We can see that he sort of steadily increases the distance that at basically a constant rate until about 1.5 hours into the race, and then the rate at which he increases the distance slackens off a little bit. Essentially, he takes a little bit of a rest here, and then he picks up the pace again after maybe 2 3/4 hours until the finish line. Suppose I want to figure out how much distance the runner has covered after 1 hour. Well, time is shown on the horizontal axis here, so 1 hour is here, and I'm looking for where he's at after 1 hour. So the point on the graph tells me that he's covered a little over 5 miles. So approximately, I'm going to write approximately as this wavy equals sign. After 1 hour, let's say 5.2 miles. And again, it's just an approximation, so that's okay if I'm a little off. Approximately how long does it take the runner to complete the course? Well, the course is 30 miles long, so we're looking for how long it takes him to get to 30 miles. And so we drop a perpendicular from this point across from 30 miles. So we have the distance here is 30 miles, and we're looking for the time. And that's somewhere between 4 and 5 hours, and I would say about 4.3 hours. So approximately 4.3 hours to cover the 30 miles. We can also get some technical information from a graph. We can see the domain and the range of the function. So remember, the domain of the function is the set of all values x for which f is defined. And if you think about it, these are the actual x values which appear on the graph. So these are the x values of all the points on the graph. And the range is the set of values f of x we get for those x values. So that's the set of y values on the graph. So here's an example of a function. The graph of the function f of x equals 3 times the square root of 1 minus 4x squared. Given the graph, can we find the domain of f? And that's the set of x values on the graph. And we see that the x values run from minus 0.5 to 0.5 here. And so that's equal to the interval minus 0.5 to 0.5, including the endpoints. That's the domain of our function. What's the range of f? That's the y values on the graph. And we see the y values on the graph run from 0 right up to 3. So that's the set of y values between 0 and 3. So that gives us the domain and the range of this particular function.